On January 3rd of 2015, the hub's programming network would be hijacked and broadcast an altered episode of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic without the knowledge of the CEO or the employees. After the hijacking was muffled with a bumper, with many unsuccessful attempts prior to it, every computer was thoroughly investigated in the hub television network building, only to find no sign of flash files, video files, or evidence pointing that an employee caused the problem. During an airing of Transformers Prime, the episode would freeze in the middle of the time slot and would immediately cut to the My Little Pony episode, Luna Eclipsed. After the prologue and intro finished playing, the episode would begin with some slight differences. For starters, the title was changed to One Shot in Arial font, like it was poorly edited over the start of the episode. All of the credits were removed and replaced with black squares. Reports said that the episode would play as normal up until around 14 minutes in. The scene where Luna shouts in her Canterlot voice to the other ponies would halt at the lightning strike and instantly cut to grayscale, with text appearing on screen. Look what you made me do. The episode would then unpause and continue as if nothing happened for another minute, with no commercial break. During the scene where Twilight tries to reason with Luna, prompting Luna to not listen, the frame would pause once more on the shot of her walking away. Text would appear on screen again like before. This becomes recurrent throughout the broadcast. Everyone has it mistaken. Every time. The frame would then cut to a scene from the second episode of the series involving Celestia reuniting with Luna. When the two hug, the frame pauses once again. I wasn't just sent to the moon. No. The scene would fade to real footage of the moon being recorded from Earth, with the ambience of crickets and cicadas playing in the background. Text would appear on the screen, this time having a fading sequence per sentence. I was trapped in the moon. Emphasis on in. The rocks closed in on my flesh. I had the smallest ounce of power left. Just enough. I could hardly breathe. The scene would then cut to an animation of Nightmare Moon, shivering in a semi-fetal position with her eyelids misaligned, bags forming underneath them. She looked as if she didn't sleep in ages. The background consisted of nothing but a rock texture, with the sounds of radio chatter playing along with it. You enclosed me, your own skin and blister, in a claustrophobic nightmare, for 1,000 years, for 1 millennium. I stopped thinking right until the moment I was released. What else was there to think about at that moment? Your mind would have eventually emptied itself if you saw nothing but gray. A jump cut to the next scene, now much quieter than the previous one would appear. Luna could be seen in the castle's dining room, alone, eating what appears to be a stack of pancakes with no expression. The animation of her chewing, swallowing, and putting another forkful in her mouth would loop. You really thought I was telling the truth when I told you I forgave you? And you're supposed to be the wise one. The truth was, hearing you decide how I should feel made my stomach churn, but I kept calm. I had other plans to get my 2 cents in. Good thing you're not as strong as you think you are. The looping would end, and Luna could be seen scraping the excess food into a trash bin before slowly trotting over to Celestia's bedroom. She would peep through the doorway, seeing that she was asleep, before making her way inside and standing next to her bed, her head now completely invisible from the screen's view, and the only light illuminating the room being from the night sky outside of her window. But don't worry, it will only last a few seconds. It shouldn't be a problem for you, considering you like yourself so much. the most precious thing being your dignity. Luna's horn would light up on screen, and her hoof would lift up into view. What looked like one of Celestia's golden shoes would slip onto Luna's hoof via her levitation magic. She would then walk out of view and appear gently stepping up on the foot of her bed. Sometime after, Luna was standing over Celestia's body, draped with her sister's shadow. One shot will end my grudge. Vengeance is mine. With one swift knock from the bottom of Luna's hoof, Celestia's head would jerk to its side, but her eyes wouldn't open, as if she were temporarily unconscious from Luna's kick. A moment of nothing would commence, and then Luna would stomp on her sister's head. She would stomp again after a small period of time, and again, and again, and again, with the last two stomps striking Celestia's horn. Viewers claimed a large chip could be seen in the side of her horn from the last two kicks. Celestia would wake up, seeing her own flesh and blood stood over her, like predator to prey. Instead of text, she would actually speak, the voice being surprisingly high quality.
Oh my head hurts. Sister, what are you doing here?
Celestia would immediately be stifled by Luna's opposite hoof, cramming into her mouth. As the sequence of the Moon Princess strenuously stomping the air and life out of her dear sister commenced, the first three kicks pinned against her throat to prevent her from calling for help. What sounded like copyrighted music would slowly increase in volume, albeit slowed and heavily reverbed. Rumor has it that this song may have been Heaven is a Place on Earth by Belinda Carlisle. Eventually, in the midst of the music, a snap could be heard on the last stomp against Portia's pharynx. Luna would then slowly step off of the bed and, using her magic, gently remove the hoofwear before leaving the room for about 60 seconds, with muffled noises of running water being heard. Afterwards, Luna would make her way back to Celestia's bedroom and shove the pointed end of her hoofwear into her uvula before clearing her throat. Suddenly, she would scream at the top of her lungs, feigning fright. The scene would finally fade out with the music still traversing in the background, and sound effects of guards rushing in could be heard. The background noise, in the midst of it, Luna could be heard yelling about how she woke up to find her sister murdered, and multiple guards discussing what they should do. One final line of text would fade into view before the hub's next now later bumper came on screen. No credit roll to be seen. What good are words when poison can be spewed whenever?